Hi and welcome to this Key Stage 3 guided tour of the periodic table. This is aimed for Years 7 and 8 students. And before we begin our tour, we're just going to quickly recap some really important facts about atoms. Now they are incredibly small, but it has been possible to make some pictures using individual atoms as an example that you can see on the screen. I find this kind of thing really exciting. Atoms are the building blocks of all matter, and everything is made of atoms, even yourself. Atoms are the smallest particle of an element and are far too small to see. Atoms of the same element contain the same number of protons. These are located in the center of the atom, called a nucleus. There may also be some neutrons there as well. Atoms contain the same number of protons as they contain electrons, which whiz around the nucleus. Now, all the elements that we know about with their symbols are listed in the periodic table, and the table is arranged in a series of rows called periods in order of increasing proton number. Elements with similar physical and chemical properties are grouped together in the same column, and these columns are called groups. At your stage, you only need to know about the 8 that you can see in front of you. Metals are found to the left of the thick red line and non-metals to the right, with the exception of hydrogen, which you can see on the top left-hand side in white. Many scientists help to find the patterns to organize the periodic table, and the most famous one is Mendeleev. Now, the first two columns, the first two groups of the periodic table are really reactive metals. They're called the alkali and the alkali earth metals. They quickly form a dull coating, which is actually a metal oxide, when the metal reacts with oxygen in the air. The most reactive metals are actually at the bottom of each column, with reactivity getting less as you move up. And these metals are not hard like typical metals. You can actually cut them with a knife. The other metals in the periodic table all have metallic properties that we expect, such as hardness, good conductors of electricity and heat, and they have high melting points, but they're not as chemically reactive as the metals that we've just discussed, the group 1 and 2 alkali metals and alkali earth metals. Now, all of the elements to the right of the thick red line are non-metals. Group 3 is actually known as the icosagens, Group 4 crystallogens, Group 5 pnictogens, Group 6 chalcogens. Group 7 are the halogens. Now these are really reactive nonmetals, especially at the top of this group. The most reactive is fluorine, the most reactive nonmetal in the periodic table. Reactivity decreases as you move down the column. All the halogens have names that end with INE. And the last group is group 8, but sometimes it's referred to as group 0 as well. These are the inert gases or the noble gases, and they're called that name because they are all extremely unreactive. It's not impossible for them to react, but it's very, very difficult to get any of these gases to react with anything else. Let's not forget hydrogen. Hydrogen is a gas and it's the lightest element. In chemical reactions, hydrogen can behave like a metal even though it's not one. So in some periodic tables that you find, it's in group 1. In other periodic tables, it just floats around right at the top in the middle. And that's it, a guided tour of the periodic table. Periods, groups, and who the elements want to hang out with when they're on holiday. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.